LIV Golf will always be remembered as the only new league that caused such havoc in the world of golf. Just recently, when Cam Smith announced that he'd joined the Saudi-backed league, we were all shocked. And now a major detail has been revealed. Apparently, Rory McIlroy tried to stop Smith from joining LIV. That's what we'll be talking about in this video. Let's get started. First off, Cameron Smith revealed that he got a call from Rory McIlroy. In a recent media talk, Cam Smith, who had joined LIV for the next season and ditched all the games he was supposed to play that were a part of the PGA Tour, revealed some major details about the time when all this happened. A few days after Smith won the 150th Open Championship at St. Andrews, there were already way too many rumors about him leaving the league, which later turned out to be true. This was when his fellow golfer and probably a mentor as well, Rory McIlroy, decided to give Smith some advice. The golfer revealed that McIlroy called him to discuss the matter, and the two had a serious talk that day. Up next, Smith probably hadn't made a decision to leave the tour at that time. Everyone in the world of golf was talking about Smith and his rumored contract with LIV all summer, and obviously, like everyone else, McIlroy also caught the air. From the start, Rory has been a PGA supporter and has never let anyone make him believe otherwise. So yes, looking at such an amazing golfer leaving the tour did affect him as well. When Smith was asked about his plans to join LIV after winning the British Open, things had become even tenser. The Australian replied, "I think that's pretty much not that good." However, everyone was certain that the rumors were true, but in his recent interview, he revealed that he wasn't sure what to do at that time. He definitely was leaning toward one side, but it still wasn't on paper. Smith stated that there was a lot he had to do during that time, and he was thinking about it so much. But then he received a call from Rory McIlroy. The golfer finished third behind Smith, and his call only complicated things for the 29-year-old. Following up, let's see what McIlroy said. According to Smith, Rory had actually called him to congratulate him, but when he further explained what the two talked about, it seemed like Rory wanted the golfer to stay in the PGA. Smith stated that he always had great respect for the golfer, and everything that he says on the course is also something he likes a lot. On the call, Rory said congrats to Smith and continued to discuss several other things. The two also talked about LIV and the PGA Tour, and that's when Rory said that there was a bunch of stuff that Cam needed to know about before making his decision. He stated that he wouldn't say that Rory was trying to talk him out of the idea of joining LIV, but still it was clear that he wanted him to stay. Smith also admitted that after the call he was left restless for several days and that he continued thinking about it. He stated that he felt like he hadn't slept for months. He constantly thought about what others would think about his decision because that was a major factor, and we understand what he went through actually. He's a public personality and his choices do actually affect his fan base and popularity. According to him, he's someone who always does things by the book, and to be the one stepping away is a tough thing to do. Next up, McIlroy's call didn't stop him. Even after the call and loads of thinking, Smith came to the conclusion he had decided that he'd be okay if he joined LIV, and that's what he did. By the end of August, it was confirmed that Cam Smith would be joining LIV Golf, but he did waste a bit of time while he tried to prove himself on the Saudi bankroll tour as he played the LIV Golf Chicago tournament and took it by 3 strokes. In contrast, his Punch GC took second place in the season-ending LIV Golf Team Championship. On the other hand, Dustin Johnson succeeded in keeping his team 4 aces GC on top. Not just that, but he also spoke about another thing that frustrated him about the PGA Tour. It's a fact that the PGA has a high ratio of Australian golfers, yet still there was never an Australian tournament. This was bound to make the Aussies mad, and we think they are rightfully frustrated about it. Cameron Smith, an Aussie himself, also felt how his country and the players from his country were being ignored. He explained the situation, saying that for him, the PGA Tour was a great place and still is. It's actually an excellent tour where good things happen, but when he looks back at it, Adam Scott has been one of the best golfers in the world for over 20 years, and it's peculiar how they've never once held an event in Australia because of him, nor for any other Aussie golfer. He also gave an example of Jason Day and Mark Leishman, who are also Aussie golfers, and said that these guys have done a lot for the tour, but what did the PGA Tour do for them? Half the crowd is Aussie when these players are playing, yet still PGA never thought of doing events in Australia. This was something that frustrated him, and he thinks that going to Australia was probably not profitable for the tour, and that's the only reason they'd ever have. Smith has explained his reasons for joining LIV multiple times now, and honestly speaking, it has started making sense to us too. The Aussie golfers have been marginalized on the PGA Tour, and the factors that make them marginalized are also clear. Let's see if the PGA Tour will take any action to fix this issue or continue to lose more golfers. Not to mention, Cam will be playing in the PGA Championship Australia. Cam is quite excited about the Saudi-backed league arranging events in Australia, and now he's hopeful that he'll soon be able to secure an LIV golf event for his native Queensland. Now that he's going to play his third Australian PGA Championship, he'll be returning to his homeland after a whole 3 years. For this championship, his reputation is still pretty good, as the Brisbane-born Smith has also become the 52nd person and the first ever golfer to receive the keys to the city. While talking about it, the golfer said that he had never imagined getting the keys to the city, not even in his wildest dreams. He said that he always thought these keys were only for important people. Well, it looks like he's the important person now. But what about LIV Golf and their relationship with Australia? Let's have a look at LIV entering Australia as well. It's been reported that LIV is getting ready to enter the Australian market in Adelaide in 2023. Here, the South Australian government's support will play a significant role in initiating the events, especially because of the venues required. But Brisbane, joining hands to host the PGA Championship, co-sanctioned by the European Tour, might end up becoming a major barrier between the state hosting LIV golf events. But here's the deal. Smith is an important guy in Australia. He's represented the country internationally. At the same time, LIV also has Greg Norman, who's an iconic Queenslander. So yes, LIV might have the upper hand here. While we're talking about this, Smith said that if he had his way, he'd love an event to be held in Queensland. He also stated that if it has to be anywhere in Australia, it should be Queensland, because this is the place that's well received, and if they welcome LIV, it will positively impact the league. Smith said that he couldn't wait for Adelaide, but in the future he hopes that LIV will hold events in Queensland. Lastly, Mark Leishman and other Aussie golfers also agree with Cameron Smith. Mark Leishman, another Aussie golfer who's also a good friend of Smith and a good LIV golfer, also agreed with this statement. Mark will also be playing at Royal Queensland alongside, and we totally get why he agrees with what Smith wishes for LIV to do next. He also said that Adelaide will be amazing, and that the team is now a bit starved of golf at the moment, meaning he's pretty excited to finally be able to play again. Leishman also noted that he knows that the tickets are selling fast, and he's also happy about how the place where he'll be playing is so close to Warrnambool, where he grew up. The Aussie team is quite excited about this tournament, and mainly the reason seems to be their return to the homeland. Well, if we were to return home after years, we'd have been equally happy as well. Good for the players that they'll now finally get to play for their own people, while the Australian fans will cheer them on. And now it's time for us to wrap it up, fam. So what are your thoughts about McIlroy calling Smith and advising him about things to know before joining LIV? Do let us know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We'll be back with more amazing videos soon. Until then, we'll see ya.